shadows deep, a silent invasion creeps through halls of power where darkness seeps, truth twisted into deceitful lines, unseen by eyes that fail to heed the signs. It's an invasion, a battle for the soul. Will we succumb to their dark goal?
Good morning, loyalists, rebels with a cause, and other merry delinquents skilled in the art of democratic violence. That was It's an Invasion by, Alquimsta the Harlot. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly, because yes, it is, in fact, an invasion. So, where have I been the last few days? Well, part of my time has been spent managing the evacuation from Krakabos. Gunvald, as well as Vertex and Nadir, were probably a little bit concerned over just how many agents, infiltrators, saboteurs, and folks just plain on out skilled in the art of ruining somebody else's day that I had on station. To the point that, by Gunvald's own military analysts, I probably could have taken out all three factions in a straight fight really easily. I could, but I won't. We've been asked to leave, and so we shall. By now, the Seraphim will have completely vacated the planet and left the other factions to their own devices. For all that I care, they can destroy that planet completely. We accomplished our war goals and did what we came to do anyway.
She has also been playing quite a lot of the Rising lately.
Darn it, Mercy, not in front of the malcontents. We had this talk.
Her castle is quite impressive, though.
Decoration was always a strong suit of mine. Also, chaos vampire magic is awesome. They just explode. So, news from the vampiric world aside, news from the galactic sphere, which is much more exciting and probably explodes more. There have been quite a lot of movements lately, as well as some situations of random happenstance. First, the Jet Brigade jerks decided to pay us another visit. Hooray. We're currently invading Tarsh, where the undersupplied and starving SEAF garrison recently threw in the towel. Now, I might have covered this on the show before, but surrendering to the automatons is a very bad idea. They don't see our people so much as prisoners of war, but more like piles of spare parts, as they will rip the brains right out of your heads to cram into berserker combat friends, and you'll be left helpless to watch as you cut down your former friends and family with chainsaws for hands until some helldiver gets lucky and puts you out of your misery. Some things just aren't worth living through. The other half of the surrendering SEAF garrison managed to escape the murderous automatons and got the Warhammer Commissar treatment from the Ministry of Truth. So between forced roboticization, execution for disloyalty, and the good old Soviet diet, there just aren't many good choices here in this Choose Your Own Adventure book. In other news, I have not taken the recent GTFO from belligerent factions lying down, and I've drafted the shipbuilding skills of the now-defunct venture company. We now have the Navy of the Angelic Rebellion, such that next time that someone objects to us trying to save lives when they are hell-bent on slaughtering as many innocents as they can and wants us to leave by gunpoint, the response will be simple. Make us. That being said, we still have problems in that supply lines from the exterior planets are an absolute mess right now. Under the Ministry of Prosperity, they did not work too well at the best of times. But supplies are running short, people are getting hungry, and folks are just plain scared. That creates the perfect storm for piracy. I've been meeting with General Chief of the Spartan Corps to try to get things back under control, but really, anti-piracy operations are more like a game of whack-a-mole. It's just instead of a hammer, I have a husband, and instead of donking someone on the head, he drops a 500 kg other lawn. The other part of the problem is that bots are learning from our defenses and have taken to deploying skirmisher strike groups to harass our already badgered supply convoys and just generally be a pain in the tail. Chief has since redeployed to handle the situation on Claorell, leaving me to deal with Space Captain Jack Sparrow and his robot buddies. The other part of the problem is that bots are learning from our defenses and have taken to deploying skirmisher strike groups to harass our already badgered supply convoys and just generally be a pain in the tail. Chief has since redeployed to handle the situation on Claorell, leaving me to deal with Space Captain Jack Sparrow and his robot buddies. Now for news from within the ever-chaotic TQZ. The Predator strain has made another leap from SEAF to Krakatwo in the Celeste sector, and they look ready and able to claim New Fortune territory, which does put them somewhat uncomfortably close to the interior sectors. Terminids so near to Super Earth is both unsettling and unprecedented. Someone should really do something about that. Cirrus is due to flip back to Super Earth's control with a clean bill of health at some point today, so there's a bit of back and forth going on there as per usual. As for the situation within the automaton excessively militarized zone, despite the collapse of the SEAF garrison on Tarsh, the ever-dependable Helldiver Corps has appeared to show up the defense and brought Desi with them, of which the bots are just so fond. They are currently cutting down more trees than Paul Bunyan, utilizing high-yield explosive artillery salvos, and look to have the situation dealt with inside of 18 hours. Nice job, guys. That was well handled. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Pandera the Radio Angel. Tonight we'll catch up with some light reading from the Weekly Raven and the new stock market report over a cup of Liberty. Not to mention a few new contracts from the Merc Divers for those wishing to play their merry trade for coin and cleavage. Don't lie, we all know what you're about. It's the world's oldest profession, that and farming. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for the angelic rebellion. Viva la Revolution Angelique.